Welcome again to another edition of Religion and Politics. My name is WaleAde, and today we are going to talk about real love. Yeah, once again, we're going to talk about real love. See, the funny thing is, as I go through life, I start to see that, sometimes everybody has a different misperception of love. Some people be out here thinking that, it's tough love. Let's say if somebody like hits on them or if somebody beats on them. Or some people think that manipulation and getting what you want is real love. And so as I'm trying to figure out exactly what real love is, I realize that my own view of love has been tainted. Yeah, a lot of times my own view of love has been tainted because of, different relationships that I've been in. Sometimes I've gone through some hurt. Sometimes I've gone through some pain. Sometimes I've gone through some heartache and some disappointment. And so I have things inside of me that wants to protect myself, that wants to serve myself, that wants to make sure that I have a boundary around myself. And a lot of times these walls that I erect keep other people out. And so because of my experiences, whether good or bad, or the experiences of others, let's say you've seen your parents in marriage or their union or their situation, or maybe you see friends or brothers and sisters or family members and their love lives. And so all of these things come in to shape what you believe is real love. And so if we all have different definitions of what love actually is, how are we supposed to know what's real love? As a matter of fact, a lot of times I see that you only get love when you do something. As a matter of fact, some of us grew up in households where you were shown love or you were shown affection only based on your performance. And so what does that mean? That means that if you came home with good grades, you were praised. But let you be a failing student and come home with bad grades and you were derided, you were called all types of names, maybe dumb, maybe stupid, maybe idiot, maybe whatever it was, because your love was to some degree based on performance. Or maybe even as you grew older and you got that great job, you were praised because of the profession that you had and because of the money that you were making. But for those of us who may have other types of jobs that aren't as praised as others, maybe we didn't get as much love. Or even thinking about society in general, we give value on the back end. And so, not saying there's anything wrong with this, but as we go to the workforce, right, as we clock in our time or we put in our hours, we get paid after we put in the work, right? So there is no payment before, there's only payment after you've done something for me. And I think this society and the way that we work has shaped our minds so much that we now start to believe that's what love really is. And so when we think about relationships now in the modern day, men look at women for what can they get. So can I get sex? How are you going to give me your body? And that shows the value on whether I want to put my heart into you in this relationship. Or maybe women look at what can this man do for me? Can he provide? Can he spend money? What can he buy me? And that's how we put value on each other. But is this really the type of love that God has wanted us to do in his word? As we look at the scripture in Romans 5 chapter 8, it says that, but God demonstrates his love toward us, that in while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. And so what does that mean? That means that God did not place his love on the back end like we're used to after we give things, but God placed his love on the front end. So that means while you or me or anyone else, while we were still out in the world doing our thing, right? While we were still living our best life, while we had no care for what God wanted from us or for the better life that God was trying to give us, God still showed his love to us regardless. Yes, that means back in the day when I was still smoking, or when I was still out in the clubs getting drunk, or when I was still, womanizing and doing all types of manners of evil and things that weren't healthy and productive to not only myself but also my community. God still showed love to me because he knew that the only way to really draw people, the only way to transform and change hearts is to show love on the front end and not on the back end. And so I just wonder if we even try to attempt to emulate this love, if we start showing people that come into our circles or come into our sphere of influence that love on the front end, that they're valued just because, that they are important to me or you just because they exist. If we start showing love that you don't have to do anything for me, but I'm still going to show love and care and compassion towards you, just how many lives are we able to change with that mentality? And so next time you're dealing with people, try to just see if this works. Try to see, because I know a lot of you don't want to have love based on your performance, because if you're like me, we don't always perform at the highest level. Sometimes we have terrible performances. Sometimes we aren't that great in what we do. Sometimes we make some serious mistakes. But if we try to emulate the love that God has and we start giving people love and grace on the front end, just imagine what type of impact you and I can have on this world. And so once again, this is WaleAde with another edition of Religion and Politics. Make sure that you just like, subscribe, or share this content. Hit the notification bell if you want to hear when new releases are happening. And if you want to know more about relationships and building healthy Black relationships, click on the link above, and so that you can see that next episode. Once again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you in the next video.
I was broken in pieces and Christ built up. That's love. I was empty to the bottom on some real stuff. I remember them times, yeah, that was real tough. So tough. But now I got the spirit and I'm filled up. I landed on my head like a quarter throne. I left my former home, now I'm at the cornerstone.